If you've seen roofing sales reps making $50,000 and others pulling $500,000, here's what nobody tells you. Some of those guys are working the same hours, closing the same number of deals, and one of them is unknowingly leaving six figures on the table every single year. After this video, you're going to know exactly where that gap comes from, so you don't end up on the wrong side of it. What's up, Roof Money Pros? Mike here at Roof Money Pro, and I help roofing professionals turn commissions into predictable paychecks and stop living deal to deal. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now. This channel is built for one specific person, the rep who's closing deals, stacking commissions, running hard, and still looking at his bank account at the end of every year wondering where the hell it all went. This video isn't for the guy dabbling in sales. This is for the guy who knows, deep down in his gut, he should be making more than he is right now. Now, back to the question at hand. How much do roofing sales reps actually make? You've probably Googled it, searched the Reddit forums, and you've probably seen numbers all over the place. 50,000, 150,000, 300,000, maybe even 500,000. But what nobody explains is why those numbers are so far apart, and more importantly, how to make sure you don't end up stuck somewhere in the middle wondering what went wrong. And there's one mistake I see reps make over and over again that quietly caps their income, no matter how hard they work, and most don't even realize they're doing it. That's exactly what this video is going to break down. No hype, no fluff, just reality from someone who's been there. Keep in mind that there are real variables at play here, such as your previous experience, the market you're operating in, and the company structure you're in. By the time this is done, you'll have a clear picture of what's actually possible and what it actually takes to get there. Let's get into it. All right, let's actually talk numbers, because this is where most guys either get motivated or get completely misled. First year, most guys land somewhere around $45,000 to $70,000. Not bad, but not life-changing. Then you've got the guy sitting in that $80,000 to $140,000 range, making decent money, but still feeling like they should have way more to show for it. And if you've been sitting in that middle range for a while, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. Then there's the jump, $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 plus. That's where things start to look very different. That's where income stops being a paycheck and starts becoming a tool for building something real. And here's what most income breakdowns completely skip over. Previous sales experience is one of the biggest factors in where you land, especially in year one. The roofing knowledge, you can learn that in a few months. Product specs, insurance claims, estimation, that stuff is all trainable. What takes years to develop is the ability to connect with people, handle objections without flinching, and guide someone through a decision confidently. If you already have that, you're not starting from zero. You're starting with a real advantage. Take my former teammate Kurt. Kurt came from selling water softeners. Not exactly the flashiest sales career out there, unless you're like Kurt breaking national records. Kurt is one of those guys you just like the second you meet him. High energy and genuinely positive. The kind of guy who walks into a room and immediately makes it better. He understands people. He knows how to connect fast. When he crossed over into roofing sales, he hit upwards of $5 million in revenue in his very first full year. $5 million. First year. That's not normal. But it's real, and it's a direct product of walking in with a sales process already built and the people skills to execute it. Six figures in year one is absolutely achievable. I did it myself, and it's one of the first benchmarks I help reps cross in the private coaching, because once you see the roadmap, the path there is a lot clearer than most people think. Here's where a lot of reps accidentally sign up for a pay plan that looks great on paper and quietly robs them for the next 2 years. Most guys don't realize they chose the wrong structure until they've already lost a year or two finding out the hard way. There are three main models. Knowing the difference before you sign could be worth six figures. Model 1, commission only, or 1099. Highest upside, highest risk. You're typically earning 30 to 50% of profit or 8 to 12% plus on gross deal value, depending on the company. No base, no guaranteed income. In a lot of cases, you're covering your own leads, gas, and marketing on top of that. No salary whatsoever, pure sweat equity. It's a grind, but if you're disciplined with your prospecting and your process, it can be extremely lucrative. It's best suited for self-starters who want no ceiling and are okay with no floor. Model 2, base salary plus commission, or W2. This is where I operated, after my company switched from their previous model. A small base is typically between $35,000 to $50,000, plus a commission on top. Mine was 5% of gross revenue sold. On paper, especially compared to the 1099 percentages you hear thrown around, it sounds like a step down. Sounds limited until you actually run the math. Here's the reality. With that structure, I paid off my house in 16 months, with $100,000 of that knocked out in a single year. Imagine what you would do with an extra $100,000. Don't underestimate what a stable base with real performance upside can do when you have the right system behind it. Of course, How much your company can throw into marketing makes a huge difference in getting that phone to ring. And our company has some super heavy firepower. The industry is also actively shifting right now, slowly moving away from the 1099 net profit towards the W-2 flat rate gross revenue model. Adam Bidsman did a great breakdown on this specific topic. If you're a business owner, go check that video out right now. It's definitely worth your time. These topics directly impact cash flow for sales reps, and I break these issues down live every single week in the training because this one decision alone can change your income trajectory fast. Getting it wrong early is expensive. Model 3, tiered or hybrid structures. Performance-based setups where your commission percentage climbs as your production increases. Hit certain milestones, bonuses kick in. These reward reps who are consistent and operating at full capacity. All right, this next part, this is where most reps either start making real money or stay stuck way longer than they should. If you don't fully understand this, you're basically letting someone else decide your paycheck, and that's a tough place to be when your livelihood is on the line. Gross revenue commissions are paid on the total contract value. Simple, predictable. A $15,000 roof at 10% equals $1,500. You know the math going in. You can plan your life around it. Net profit commissions are paid after materials, labor, and overhead come out. Higher percentage, but a much smaller base to work with. Same $15,000 job, same week, completely different paychecks. Here's the real problem with net. You don't control profitability. You can be great at estimating and price a job well on the front end, but material costs shift, labor fluctuates, overhead gets allocated differently, things can go wrong on the job, and financial planning becomes nearly impossible even when your deal flow is consistent. You can close the exact same type of job twice in the same month and walk away with two completely different paychecks. That's not a system, that's a gamble. The industry is moving towards gross, and it's not hard to understand why. Gross is transparent. Gross is plannable. Net requires you to trust that the numbers you're being shown are fully accurate, not exactly the part they highlight in the job interview. Pick the model that lets you plan, because if you can't plan your income, you can't build wealth. 2 reps, same company, same market, same skill set. One of them is always stressed about cash flow, and the other one isn't. The difference isn't how many deals are closing. It's which type of deals and when the money actually shows up. You might be focused on residential, while someone else also takes on huge commercial jobs with longer payout schedules. That's an entirely different conversation, but let me know in the comments if you want me to tackle that topic. This is why some reps feel rich one month and stressed out of their mind the next. When it comes to residential roofing, there are 2 main categories. Insurance, aka storm restoration roofing, is driven by urgency. A storm came through, a claim got filed, there's a timeline on the repair. The homeowner isn't browsing, they're solving a problem that already happened. That urgency means higher close rates and more volume during active storm seasons. But here's the cash flow reality nobody warns you about. On insurance jobs, you typically don't see $1 until the insurance carrier pays out in full. The work gets done and the client makes their final payment. Close 5 deals this week and you might not see a check for 60 days. That gap is where guys start second guessing their career, even when they're doing everything right. Retail roofing is a completely different sales conversation. A homeowner wants to replace an aging roof before they list the house, or upgrade the metal before the next hail season. The urgency is lower. It's a want, not a need in many cases, which means your sales skills are working harder. You have to create urgency. You have to build the value. But get them into financing on the first appointment, you could be looking at the commission check within the same week. I worked in a very active storm market here in the San Antonio area. But even with all that storm activity, we maintained a pretty even split between retail and insurance because our marketing team was generating leads consistently on both sides. Your market tells you where the volume is. Your skills determine how much of it you capture. And if that cash flow gap has ever hit you, even once, go grab my Feast or Famine Survival Guide in the description. It's completely free and my gift to you today. The reps making the most money in this industry don't wait for opportunities. They manufacture them. And the math behind why is pretty straightforward. Company provided leads typically come with a lower commission, somewhere in the 3 to 10% range. Again, mine was at 5%, but overall it's lower risk, but a lower ceiling. Self-generated leads, such as door knocking, referrals, networking, personal branding, typically come with a higher payout, maybe 8 to 12% or more in many setups. You created the opportunity, so the reward reflects that. In my W-2 structure, prospecting wasn't required, but it was highly encouraged and absolutely smart to do. Company provided leads paid 5%, self-generated leads paid 8%. That 3% difference on 5 and 6-figure jobs adds up every single month in ways you feel in your bank account. Here's the other important piece. I wasn't just handed warm appointments and told to go close. I had to maintain a 40% overall close rate and demonstrate at least a 30% close rate on first meetings just to stay on board. Those company leads weren't free money. Performance and a 5-star experience for the client was always the expectation. The reps who were generating their own pipeline on top of that, untouchable. Nobody was questioning their output because the results spoke way louder than any conversation could. We go deep in how to create predictable income in the weekly training sessions and how to stop depending on the company for your leads and start controlling your own income. If you're serious about getting there, get in the room. Taxes, gas, marketing, oh my. The $150,000 a year starts looking real different after all that comes out. Not exactly the part they highlight in the recruiting conversation, but definitely the part that determines whether you actually keep what you earn. Now, quick disclaimer, this is not tax advice. Work with a qualified tax professional who understands commission-based or self-employed income. That one conversation alone could save you thousands every single year. If you're on a 1099 structure, you're likely covering your own gas, vehicle maintenance, marketing materials, and potentially your own insurance. Those costs are real, thousands of dollars a year, sometimes significantly more depending on your market and how hard you're prospecting. W-2 reps often receive a company truck, gas card, CRM, and marketing support built into the deal. A truck and gas card alone could represent $10,000 to $15,000 in real annual value. Value that doesn't show up in your commission rate, but absolutely shows up when you calculate what you're actually netting. Track what you're keeping, not just what you're closing. Because a lot of reps learn that lesson the hard way after a year that looked great on paper. Here's one most reps completely sleep on. Better materials equal bigger jobs. Bigger jobs equal bigger commissions. And you don't have to close a single extra deal to make it happen. Know what's trending in your specific market. For instance, in the San Antonio area, active hail zone, composition shingles are dominant. But because of the consistent hail exposure, promoting impact-rated shingles, standing seam metal, and stone-coated steel as upgrade options became a very smart conversation to have. Those upgrades started happening more regularly, and job sizes increased significantly without adding a single deal to the pipeline. In other markets, it might be slate, tile, or specialty materials that homeowners already expect or prefer. The rep who can confidently sell premium options is always going to out-earn the rep who knows only one product at one price point, or only goes for the cheaper materials thinking it's their edge. Get dialed into what's moving in your area and get comfortable selling up. You want the real answer? It's not luck. It's not your territory. It's not even your close rate. It's whether you're operating like an employee or like someone running a business. Employees show up. They work the deals in front of them. They go home. And there's nothing wrong with that until you realize that approach has a ceiling and you've been bumping against it for a year without even knowing it. Business-minded sales reps build systems, pipeline tracking, consistent follow-up, referral strategies, lead generation that doesn't stop when business gets good. They protect their income instead of just spending it. They think about where money is going, not just how much is coming in. Your skill determines whether you can connect, communicate, and actually close. Your work ethic makes the difference in you generating leads or waiting for the phone to ring. Other factors are secondary, such as your market being storm versus retail or focusing on volume versus ticket size. And your systems, because discipline beats talent when talent has no plan behind it. The biggest differentiator in this industry isn't effort. Almost everyone in roofing sales works hard. The differentiator is whether you treat your income like a business asset or just a paycheck you spend until the next one lands. Roofing sales is one of the only careers in existence where someone with zero experience and no fancy college degrees can cross 6 figures in under a year. But that doesn't happen by accident, and it definitely doesn't stick by accident. Your income will be determined by the comp plan you're on, the market you operate in, and your ability to generate and close deals consistently. Understand the system, because this career can genuinely change your financial life, just like it did for me. Stay confused about it, and you'll burn out like most reps do. And confusion is expensive in this business, because this industry doesn't punish laziness, it punishes confusion. But here's what's on the other side of that. The reps who figure this out early, they don't just make more, they keep more and actually build something with it. Hey Roof Money Pros, if this video helped you out today, be sure to hit that subscribe button because this is the only channel that's actually talking about money specifically for roofing sales reps. There's a lot of general and financial advice out there, but it doesn't account for variable income, commissions, and the way this industry actually works from someone who's worked in it. And the more this channel grows, the more reps we can reach who are making great money, but just not keeping it. Go watch the next video right now where I break down 1099 versus W-2 roofing sales, because that is the decision that will either accelerate everything you just learned in this video or quietly cost you for the next 2 years. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, keep stacking, keep building, and I'll see you in the next one.